Good morning, children. In our last videos, we have completed our statistics part. Okay. So, in this video, we are going to study one more theory chapter, that is sustainable development. Now, what do you mean by sustainable development? See, as I have already told you all earlier also, sustainable means you can say sustainable consumption, you can say sustainable development. These are like if you are talking about consumption, sustainable consumption means आज आप इस तरीके से कोई भी commodity को consume कर रहे हो कि your future generation is also able to consume those commodities. In the same manner, sustainable development means development of an economy of a country in such a manner that it meets the need of the present generation. Like we can fulfill the demands, we can fulfill the requirements, we can fulfill the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation. Means we are not you can say overutilizing any resources, so we should use or we should lead to the development in the present generation in such a manner that we cannot compromise with the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. For example, I am giving you a simple example. You know that petrol is scarce and it takes millions and millions of years to reproduce. So, in the same manner, we should use petrol in such a manner that our development takes place. But hand to hand, we should also see that it should be you can say utilized by our future generation also. Means our future generation also gets that commodities for their usage. Is it clear? So, this concept of sustainable development came, you can say, into existence when World Commission of Environment and Development made a report on it in the year 1987. Is it clear? So, what is sustainable development? Sustainable development means development that meets the need of the present generation. They are fulfilling the needs of the present generation, but without compromising the abilities of the future generation to meet their own needs. Is it clear? Let's come to the important factors which determine the long run development opportunities. Means what are the important factors which leads to the long run development? There are three types of capital. Please make a note of it. There are three types of capital which are required for the long run development. The first one is natural capital, second one is physical capital, third one is human capital. Is it clear? Natural capital means resources which are, you can say, which exist naturally, okay, and which helps in the production of the other commodity. Like for example, you can say oil, fisheries, forest reserve, air, water, soil. These are all natural capital. Physical capital means like physical equipments, physical tools. For example, plants, machineries, tools and equipments, factories, infrastructure like transport, power, etc. These comes in as a physical capital. Now let's come to the human capital. You know, human capital are like human beings, those who are educated enough, those who are skilled, those who are trained, those who have that knowledge, they are considered as a human capital. So, human capital like education, skills, knowledge, and technical advancement. Is it clear? So, these are the three different types of capital: natural, physical, and human. And if we talk about the overall capital, that is the sum total of natural capital, physical capital, and human capital. Is it clear? So, sustainable development requires the overall capital. Am I clear? Now, what are the you can say necessary conditions for a sustainable development? See, sustainable development does not mean that natural resources should not be used at all. If I'm saying development that meets the requirement of the present generation but also meets the requirement of the future generation, it does not mean that you are not supposed to use those resources in the present scenario. You can, you have to use those resources, but similarly, or you can say simultaneously, you have to see also that these resources are not degraded, these resources are not diminished, so that cannot be obtained by the future generation. Next condition is, you can say renewable natural resources which can be renewed. So it should be extracted at a rate which does not exceeds its rate of generation. Means, for example, if it is taking 1,000 years to regenerate, then you should not extract that resources frequently. You should see that the rate of extraction of the natural resources should not exceed the rate of generation of the natural resources. Next is, sustainable development also requires non-renewable resources like mineral resources. So, what we have to do, we does not reduce their availability and accessibility. We should not waste those resources. We should not exploit those resources. We can use it. We can use it to fulfill our requirements, but we have to see that we are not exploiting those resources, we are not wasting those resources, because those resources cannot be renewed again. Is it clear? Which means you have to rationally use the non-renewable resources. Next is, sustainable development should discard those activities which leads to pollution of environment. If we are talking about sustainable development, we should also talk about reducing the pollution of our society, reducing the pollution of our country. Then only we can talk about sustainable development. So we should look that the resources, the activities which are leading to pollution should be minimized. Is it clear? So, sustained development can be achieved only if there is minimum depletion of resources, environmental degradation, and there is improvement in environment of the country. So, that's all about the concept of sustainable development. I hope it is clear to you all. Thank you. Bye bye.